I had an interesting conversation today or last night from you guys' perspective um, with a coworker, a friend of mine. He is like as close as you can get to being a prepper without being a prepper. But he's like major frugal and he's got tradition. He had a good upbringing and he knows how to deal with debt and he knows that debt is bad um, and he basically has heard me talk about the economy and where it's going for the last couple years, but I don't think it's really real to him. Well, anyway, today we were talking about the progress we've made on our mortgages and whatnot, and in January, at the beginning of the year, we were both about 20,000, right? And basically, we were kind of almost having a race, even though each of us has savings enough to pay off our mortgages. We were sort of neck and neck, and I was proposing um, that it be a race. But anyway, and he was kind of hemming and hawing about that, but um, you can really tell the difference between somebody who is into preparedness and somebody who has just had a good upbringing and they're frugal, because I am leaving him in the dust. And today we were discussing the progress we've made and everything, and he was just appalled at how much I'm sending off to my mortgage every single month. Uh, and he was saying, "How much do you live on?" that was, and I went ahead and told him, and he kept bringing up things like, but what about the electric bill? What about car insurance? And I was giving him the totals of each, and basically it adds up, so that my expenses are about $1,000 a month, maybe a little less. Um, and the thing is, that's the difference, I think, between a prepper and somebody who isn't. Um, I've had 2.5 years since my wake up back in 2007 uh, to really tweak my lifestyle. And since I know that the future is going to be austere, to say the least, I decided to practice living really cheap. For example, I just have like a salad for lunch, and that's helped my weight. But at the end of the week, and I generally don't eat salads on the weekends. But anyway, so I take all of that stuff and I make a soup of some kind or a stew. And this week it's going to be a bean soup. It's the majority of the protein is going to be navy beans, white beans. I cook them up, throw half of them in the blender, make them all ground up and creamy, and then basically throw the rest into the soup, and then cook everything else that's in the soup with it. And I use my thermal cooler or cooker for that. But anyway, then that's my dinner for the most of the week because I don't really get tired of something if it's tasty. Um, and then so I spend just nothing. And he made a wisecrack about, what do you buy your clothes at Value Village? And I said, how'd you know? And it's not that I buy all my clothes at Value Village, but I buy my work clothes at Value Village. I mean, they get torn up and grease and oil stains, and why should I buy new clothes to wear under my coveralls and getting all grungy and stained up and everything? So I said, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Um, so basically, the progress every single month that I make, tweaking my lifestyle just to be a little bit more frugal here and have the same quality of life with paying less. Basically, it's really paid off, and I'm surprised at how well it has, because as you go through your life, everything seems normal. But then when you compare notes with somebody else who isn't living on the same bandwidth or wavelength that I'm on, man, the difference is huge. Um, so what I really want is freedom. Um, and when you have debt in your life, um, that is just, that's however many thousands worth of freedom that you don't have anymore. But if I can just get this mortgage paid off, oh man, um, then I will finally be free, and then I'll be able to save like a lot every single month. And then within a couple years, I mean, I won't save it in dollars, of course. I'll leave it up to your imagination to determine what I save it in. But basically, at the end of 2 years or whatever, I mean, I'm thinking we're going to have a little recovery with all this government spending, and then more depression later on. But right about then, I might be able to sell this condo, cash in my savings, and walk through the door mortgage free in a nice, I mean, a medium decent house with a south facing roof for solar panels, and nice yard for permaculture and gardening. And without a mortgage, I would be able to live on almost nothing. And then I'll have a huge garden. This deck garden, I'll probably bring it with me, but but it will just be a small little punctuation to the paragraph, which will be my real, house garden. And then I'm going to have indoor garden as well. But I want to set it up with permaculture in mind. But basically, that is my goal. So I think I'll let you go with that. But before I go, I'm just going to reiterate that as if you're a prepper like me, you might be appalled um, when you compare notes with somebody who isn't, uh, just appalled by how much money they waste, and how much money they waste on stupid things like acquiring more debt and picking up another car, and leasing a car or something. Just things that, as a prepper, you would just be absolutely just shocked and revolted that anybody would even suggest that you do that sort of thing. And it was interesting today to really compare notes with a friend of mine who is really frugal, but the difference, that real critical difference, is that he is not a survivalist, and I am. And the difference is huge. So it's as time goes on, you're probably going to see that more and more if you're into the preparedness community. So I guess that's all I have. Later.